When you say Pillar Chase 2, I go. But when you say the other guy, I go. Shout out to Chazington, if you know, you know. Ever since my video on Pillar Chase 2, which you guys should totally watch, I've been on a mission to unlock every monster in the game so I can eventually drop a full review. Now you see, I joined Pillar Chase 2 at its most lowest point yet. Everybody who's been with Pillar Chase 2 since the start have slowly been losing interest in the game, with the addition of PCX being the last straw for many players, and all moving to a new game called Forsaken, which I briefly mentioned in my Pillar Chase 2 video. I don't know what it is about Forsaken, but something about that game just never made me want to play it. Anytime this game was ever brought up, I would just completely ignore it, no matter how much more popular and talked about it became. Instead, I kept grinding away at Pillar Chase 2, still focused on unlocking every monster. Until one day I decided, you know what, let's see what all the hype is about, and finally played Forsaken for the first time. Alright, that was pretty fun. Now let's go make that review. After playing it, I have a lot of things to say. Wow. Any Pillar Chase 2 fans that said Forsaken was a breath of fresh air was right. Now what's gonna make this review different from Pillar Chase 2 is that both Pillar Chase 2 and Dandy's World were just my first impressions of the game. I never actually did a full review on those games. I never talked about the monsters or their abilities at all, but that's gonna change today. With Forsaken, I've unlocked every character, every killer, and I've put more time into this game than I did with Dandy's World or Pillar Chase 2. I'll be trying to go through everything, from the good to the bad, to whatever happened on March 18. So hold on tight once again as I try to answer the question, is Forsaken really overrated? But before we even start talking about anything, I just want to start off by saying, no, Forsaken is not underrated. I just put that in the thumbnail to make it look cooler, but fuck no. Forsaken is not underrated, bro. Also, I just want to say this right now, I'm not going to be comparing Forsaken to Pillar Chase 2 beyond this point, as those two games are completely different from each other. Now with that out of the way, let's begin this review. Forsaken is another survive the killer type game, except instead of creepypastas, Roblox hackers. Fuck yeah. You go around completing objectives, but what sets Forsaken apart is how each survivor has their own unique set of abilities this time. When getting on your first ever game on Forsaken, you're given the noob as your first ever starter survivor. And what do I think of him? I'm not gonna lie, playing as noob for the first couple of hours were my least favorite moments of this game. I know noob is really good in the right hands and a pain in the ass to go through in last man standing, but being honest, noob is just not for me. And I know I'm not alone on that. A common complaint I've seen is that Forsaken starts off kind of boring because of noob. I've seen a ton of people drop the game before even unlocking the other survivors just because noob felt so boring to play. And honestly, I can't even blame them. I almost dropped the game because of this shit. What made me start to actually enjoy the game despite me being noob were the generators. I've seen a lot of people complain that the generator puzzle is the only real objective survivors have in Forsaken and how it becomes super repetitive after a while. But if I'm being honest here, this puzzle was at one point the only fun part about Forsaken for me. I don't know what it is about this puzzle, but learning the patterns and figuring out how to solve it quickly is always super satisfying and adds a little skill-based challenge that I really enjoy. Once you start unlocking the characters, that's when this game starts to get fun. Unless you're already having fun with noob. Forsaken revolves around the theme of Roblox hackers versus some of Roblox's biggest icons. Where's this guy in Forsaken? Such as Guest 1337 from the Last Guest movie, Shadletsky, who was among the first employees at Roblox I think, the noob, Builderman, Elliot, which is supposed to be this guy from Work at a Pizza Place. Didn't even know he had a name. But Forsaken also introduces some original characters such as 2Times and I believe Taff. Both of them use some sort of old school Roblox element in their designs or abilities such as the spawn symbol and the subspace strip mine gear, except for Chance, which I forgot to mention. And speaking of original characters, since the whole theme of Forsaken is based on classic Roblox, you know who would be an amazing addition to the Forsaken roster? Chat, am I cooking? Come on, the Doge head was literally published by Roblox itself. He was once an iconic part of Roblox at some point. Out of every future survivor plan to be added to this game, I feel like Doge is a perfect selection. I already have some cool ideas for skins like using those expensive ass Doge heads Roblox released all those years ago. Maybe even a banana skin. Hashtag add Doge to Forsaken, please. What his abilities would be, I have no idea. But I did have one where he could summon the attacker Doge. You know that gear Roblox released all the way back in 2015. So instead of coming up with abilities on my own, this is where I call you, the viewer watching this video right now, to give me some ideas and write down some cool abilities in the comments. What do you think he should be to support, a stunner, etc. And whoever has the coolest idea, I'll be pinning your comment. But if everyone's idea suck, then nobody's getting pinned. And instead I'll be pinning my Roblox script, which I haven't promoted on like my last two videos. So be sure to join, link in the description. Since we're already promoting shit, if you've been enjoying this video and think those should be added to Forsaken, consider subscribing. I'm trying to reach 20,000 subscribers before summer starts, and we're so fucking close. And yeah, that's it. Alright, back to the video. Since I've unlocked every survivor, I want to do a quick tier list on every single one of them. Starting off with,
oh mama, can I have some cookies?
S tier. Honestly, this one's pretty self-explanatory. The fact that Shaletsky can heal no matter where he is with literally zero restrictions, except slowness. But still, it's already pretty overpowered, and being one of the few survivors who can actually stun the killer. His only weakness though, is missing your sword. But if you're consistent with your hits, he is a top tier survivor. Blah 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 blah. Another S tier. Elliot being able to heal other survivors, plus the only ability which I'm aware that can give you speed 3, makes him super good for escaping chases, and the only reason Elliot's on the S tier. Let's go gambling! S tier. The power to stun the killer from a far distance is already pretty overpowered. His only weakness is himself. With a 90% chance of the gun shooting, or just not shooting, or just shooting yourself. Also, I don't know why, but I see so many chance mains just feel the need to gamble mid-chase. I feel like that puts you at a huge disadvantage with the chance of possibly giving you weakness, making you very easy to kill.
Hey guys, Builderman here. I just wanted to ask you to please stop jerking off to Roblox porn.
S tier. Builderman is honestly underrated for how annoying he is to deal with as a killer. Not only can he heal both himself and teammates, but he also has turns that slow down the killer, which has the power to interrupt their momentum completely if used right. Solid support, but his only weakness I would say is that he's basically useless in a chase. He doesn't have anything to defend himself, and placing turrets takes about like 7 seconds to fully build, which leaves him very vulnerable in the heat of the moment. A tier. He's not the most exciting to play, I personally find him boring, but I can't deny he is very good in the right hands. Especially in Last Man Standing with his fucking ghost burger that makes him invisible! B tier. I have a lot of respect for any guesstimates out there, as they make it look so easy. But after playing a lot of rounds with him, he's pretty tough to use. He's currently my second most leveled up survivor, with first place going to Elliot. He has the same weakness as Shaletsky. If you miss your block, you're just gonna be standing there like an idiot, making it super easy for the killer to land a hit on you. His charge ability is good for pushing killers out of the way, and the fact that it gives you resistance 5 when hit is pretty nice. But I wouldn't recommend using it as a boost to escape chases, since if you don't hit anyone with the charge, you'll end up getting slowness too, which just lets the killer catch up right back to you. Boom! Boom! Alright, so I'm writing this as TAF was just released. First impressions, he's pretty good, and very annoying to deal with as a killer. His main weakness is during chases. Much like Builderman, he lacks a personal escape or defense tool. While the subspace trip mine can be useful, it's not always reliable in a chase, as placing it slows you down for like a couple of seconds, which gives the killer a lot of time to catch up to you. B tier. He's alright, I don't have much to say about him. Next! A to B tier. I'm honestly not sold on him yet. He's very fun to play with, don't get me wrong. Except using the force field on another survivor gives slowness 1 to Dusakar himself, which makes him super easy to catch. After learning that, I make sure to target any Dusakars giving force field to players. Also, a common thing I keep seeing are teammates selling out their Dusakars when being force field by going closer to them. At that point, why even help your teammates if they're gonna do you dirty like that? And he might just have the most useless passive in the entire game. Levitation. All it does is make Dusakar not have any footstep sounds. I don't know about you, but when I'm the killer, I'm not exactly listening for footsteps with the chase theme being blasted in my ear. Also, since he's literally levitating and not touching the ground, how the hell does he still get poisoned by the water? Alright, I don't know why so many people hate on 2 times. The fact that he has no abilities and is just a waste of space on the team is already incredible. And the fact that he's able to respawn when dying, except with even lower health and fucking weakness 5? Being able to get one-shotted after you respawn is just awesome! It almost feels like 2 times was just added to add time to the clock. Get it? Call me crazy, but I think he deserves the Oh my God! Help me! The starter killer you're given is Jason. And what do I think playing as the killer for the first time? One thing that threw me off immediately was I couldn't tell if I was actually hitting survivors or not. Now you see, in most other survivor vs killer games, there's always some visual or audio cue when you land a hit, like a sound effect or damage number popping up. A good example of this is, and I'm not comparing, but here, nothing. I felt weirdly quiet and I wasn't sure if my attacks were even landing. After a few more games, I finally noticed the visual cue. This small ass little flash you barely see. If you're a normal player, you probably don't even see it. If you're a Forsaken player, you definitely see it. And if you turn on the damage numbers in the settings, you can actually see how much damage you're doing, which really helped me tell if I was landing my hits or not. And honestly, I think the settings should just be turned on by default. But besides that, shit was fun as hell. I was able to get a full squad wipe my first game. Going in, I expected killer gameplay to suck low-key, just because I kept hearing people complain about how the game is survivor-sided. But after that first match, I didn't see it. Until stun after stun after stun. Now you may think I might say playing as the killer sucks, but if you understand your enemy's weaknesses, being the killer is actually not that bad. Knowing when to strike or how to shut down survivors can definitely flip the outcome of the game. But being the killer didn't become fun until I unlocked Cool Kid. And my god, is Cool Kid the most unskilled, most funnest killer in the whole game. Easily one of the best killers. If I had to rate him, I would give him the easy S tier. Also, can anyone let me know what the fuck happened to Blue Dude's old design? The next monster I unlocked was John Doe. Now, John Doe is a pretty controversial killer. Some people call him the worst, while others swear he's one of the best. And if you're wondering which side I'm on, well, I don't have much experience with John Doe, but I know true potential when I see it. Many people who play John Doe for the first time play him like as if they were playing Cool Kid or Jason, when in reality, that's not the way he's meant to be played. John Doe's abilities are designed to encourage trapping and controlling movement, not brute forcing or rushing players. His strength definitely comes from
strategic play,
setting up situations where the enemy has limited options and is forced into bad positions. When used correctly, he could completely dominate the flow of a match. And the fact that he has the best passive out of all the monsters, that's an easy S tier. 1x, 1x, 1x. B tier. His attacks are super easy to avoid and rely way too much on survivors making mistakes. He's not bad per se, but definitely not threatening, unless you're predictable with your movements. Now that I've talked about what I consider to be the good in Forsaken, some notable mentions that didn't get their own section, such as the fucking music, that shit slaps. But with all that being said, let's get to the fucking bad. Now, what's really bad about Forsaken? Some might point to the hitboxes or other small issues, but honestly, the one thing I'd consider quote-unquote bad, which isn't even bad at all, is simple. It just needs more content. The gameplay loop is super fun and addicting. I even catch myself playing Forsaken outside of recording footage for it. But man, once you experience everything, you're just left wanting more. If you ask me whether Forsaken is survivor or killer sided, I'd say the devs definitely prioritize survivors over killers, bro. There are only 10 survivors and only 4 killers. Are we being so for real? And I know Noli and Guess666 are supposedly the next killers to be added into Forsaken, and I think they're almost ready to drop. But still, we've gotten 2 new survivors before we've seen a single new killer. This might be a hot take, but I think we've got enough survivors to last us for a while. Unless Doge is the next survivor to be added, then I'm totally cool with that. But the killers, yeah bro, I think it's time we add more killers to the game. Don't get me wrong, the game is still fun and all, but you can only fight Cool Kid, John Doe, Jason, and 1x, 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 and explore the same map so many times before it starts getting a bit stale. Now for some quick nitpicks, such as the lobby. For some reason, when dying, you'll still hear the last man standing chase theme. This is probably a bug, but this has been in the last 2 updates, so I don't know if this is ever gonna get fixed. And yeah, don't get me wrong, some of the chase themes are absolutely fire, but when I'm just trying to relax in the lobby, I don't really want to hear the intense chase music blasting my ears. It should only be playing when spectating a player, not the lobby itself. Hitboxes, I feel like this has been said so many times. Hits that definitely shouldn't land somehow still manage to hit you. I get that this probably isn't entirely Forsaken's fault, mostly likely a Roblox server issue, but I still wanted to address it. And I think that's most of it. Like I said, I really enjoyed Forsaken, and I ended up doing something I haven't done for a Roblox game in a long time. I actually joined a Discord server to stay in the loop for any upcoming updates. And as luck would have it, I joined just in time for the next community update dropping soon on March 8th. Now what exactly happened on March 18? Well, the John Doe update, dumbass. The update which made John Doe fucking overpowered to the max. You could actually kind of play this.
Yo, always miss you though.
It's just a rumor. Well, why do I have such a crazy amount of health? What the fuck? I just killed someone. He was like 2 wipe. Wait, I'm not waiting, bruh. This is a fucking killing or be killed situation, bro. What do you mean wait? Whoa, valid the implier. Whoa. Oh my god, you're such a fucking idiot. Oh my god, where are you going, buddy? Where are you going? Builderman's still alive. Just gonna block that off, and none of you guys enter that. I just killed someone? Oh my god, why am I so good at this game?
Dispenser going up.
Oh my god, look at you trying to save your dumbass friend. Oh yeah, where did that get you? Right back to me. Oh my god, it got you. Trapped you. Where are you gonna go, huh?
That wasn't me, but ah,
That was not you?
why are you hitting
you
my
stupid
thing,
bitch.
I'm dead for the poison.
Yeah, you better.
Never mind.
What the fuck?
No,
What a
no,
fucking idiot.
no! I'm dying for everything.
Guys, look at this idiot right here.
Did you think that?
As you can see, this update was pretty fire, and nothing bad happened after that. Oh, and some Google Doc apparently released that same day, which ruined the creator's reputation, leading to a ton of creators backing out from collaborating with the game, resulting in a shit ton of collabs being removed. And with all this coming out, there was an announcement that the creator of the game, Soul Driven Love, would stop updating Forsaken indefinitely, which lasted about 2 weeks. Now I don't know what the situation was. I heard like a couple of outrageous things, such as allegations of them being a neo-Nazi, and one of their friends supposedly did attempted murder. No, I have no idea if this shit's true. Apparently they debunked most of these allegations. Again, I have no idea, I might be wrong, but I don't really want to dive too deep into this. It's funny how in the original script I had written back in mid-February, I said that this was the first Roblox game I've played that didn't have any major controversies attached to it. Oh, how naive I was. Well, I think we've gone through everything. Now that we've went through the good, the bad, and the ugly, it's finally time to answer the question from the beginning of this video. Is Forsaken really overrated? Well, my definition of overrated is a game with a high player count with shitty gameplay. And when I look at Forsaken, I don't see that at all. So instead, I asked myself a different question. Does Forsaken really deserve over 200,000 active players? Like, be honest. Like, if you had no idea what Forsaken was, and I handed you an iPad and told you to play this shit for 3 hours, and then I asked you, how many active players do you think this game has? Would your answer seriously be 200,000? Is Forsaken really that good? Because I know mine wouldn't. This game has gotten so big over the past couple of months that just a single update has brought in over 200,000 active fucking players. And that's just for a survivor, mind you. People have been waiting for the next killer in the game for who knows how long. Do I think Forsaken is overrated? Not using my own definition, yes. But just a little bit. There might be some people out there who think Forsaken isn't overrated or just well rated, and if you're one of those people, I can definitely see where you're coming from. Now just remember, overrated doesn't mean bad. Sometimes. Don't take this as I hate Forsaken, because I don't. Forsaken is very fun, and you can definitely tell how much I've enjoyed it, or else I wouldn't have put this much effort into talking about it. Now don't get it twisted. I don't think it's in the same level as Dandy's World type of overrated, where the gameplay is shit, and the game gets over 500,000 players. Like I said in my last video, the only game I'll ever dick-ride is... And with that, I think the Is Blank Really Overrated series will have to come to a close, at least for now, as there just isn't any game out there currently worthy of the overrated video.
Hey Brian, I know one. How about Regretted?
No! If you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing, don't forget to join the Roblox group, and I'll see you guys next time whenever I upload, which will probably not be soon. Alright.
Bye!
All right, okay. Power courses through me.